list. Shantui. So what I am about to say is the WWE has done some releasing, has done some downsizing, so to speak. They've released some talents. And before we get into the list, let me just say for the record, for everyone to hear, I never want to hear anyone losing their job. It sucks across the board, especially if you are one of these individuals that got released and you've worked your whole life to be in the WWE. You get there, it's not the job that you were hoping that it would be, and it's a whole thing, and eventually they go, they don't put you in a position to succeed, but then they look at you and you go, well, you haven't succeeded, so let's just go ahead and get rid of that. I get it. I'm not here to throw stones at anybody. But at the same time, I've never in my life, ever, and this is outside of wrestling as well, I have never in my entire life ever had a job where I anticipated that job understood that I should be there for the rest of my life. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just something that I in my head, but I never had a job where I was like, you know what, this job, the people at this job love me so much, I'll be here forever. You know, there's always been a piece of me that's like, oh, the job's fine for now. Let's see what happens when it's time to do something else. And we went through quite a run in WWE where, like, before, in the beginning when we were wrestling fans in the 70s and 80s, people being on the roster for, like, 5 years was a big deal. It's what made Taker so special. I know we just talked about Taker a second ago, not to bring it back to him, but, he hit 10 years in the WWE in the year 2000. And that was a big deal. What was it called? That whole year they had this thing called the Decade of Destruction because it was such a weird time to hear that he's been in the WWE 10 years. It's insane. Now everybody in the WWE has been there for 10 years. Kevin Owens has just now hit the 10-year mark, and he just signed a 5-year deal like the other day. So he's going to be there for 5 more years, 15 years total in the WWE. Mind you, he did about 10 years in the Indies before he got signed. So,
to be fair, they run their talent a lot different than they did back then.
They do.
I don't think this dude could physically do 10 years.
Yeah, the amount of travel, the amount of shows, not nearly as backbreaking as it once was. Absolutely sure. And they have a habit of taking care of their talent way more. Not just the catering, everyone goes to catering, but with the doctors and the masseuses and there's a lot of staff behind the scenes at these events, and it take a lot of these people. And not for nothing, the generation of wrestler has changed, right? A lot of the reason you couldn't do a guy 10 or 15 years back in the 70s because he was so coked the fuck up and so many needles in his ass cheeks that there was no fucking way his body was going to live up to a 10-year deal. All these motherfuckers, like DDP said it. DDP said it best because people are like, "How are all these? Look at AJ in his 40s and he's kicking ass, and LA 19 in his 40s, he's kicking ass. How is this? Ooh, excuse me. How is this so much different from your era?" And DDP didn't even hesitate. He's like, "No partying, not for nothing, no partying." This generation of guys, they don't pop pills the way we used to. They don't drink the way we used to. They don't, they're not around with women the way we used to. They're not beating the shit out of them.
Oh, you ain't have to say that. He's trying to say he's going to go get pussy.
No, that's not what he's saying.
This is dry.
There's a difference between being able to get pussy and then constantly chasing it, whether you get it or not. They were all, the poon houndery was out of control in the 70s and 80s.
Poon hounds.
The poon houndery was too much in the 70s and 80s. It was out of control. And that's what he was just saying. He was just like, there were so many extracurricular activities that caused more harm to their bodies. Look at all the wrestlers who died young because of heart issues and all kinds of problems with their physical health. A lot of performers today, and that's not just in the WWE, that's across the board. The wrestling is probably the most damaging thing that they do to their bodies now. There's a lot of guys that take so much care of their bodies, probably now more than ever, and probably in the history of the business. Everyone, there's the workout regimens and the clean eating and the dietitians and the nutritionists that are on site at these events. the catering. CM Punk told a hilarious story because in Punk's DVD, what was it, 2011 or something like that?
That's crazy. This dude just said DVD. Go ahead.
Yeah, Punk's DVD, when it was a DVD box set back in 2011, he was having issues with his weight, and Kofi Kingston was like, yeah, and then we were, there's only McDonald's. When we never leave the building, there's always like late night eateries, diners, and fast food and stuff. And out of nowhere, CM Punk just decided to be a vegan, and he goes, yeah, I'm going to be a vegan so I can eat cleaner, be leaner. And they actually had a camera around following him, and he went to catering, and he couldn't find any vegan friendly foods. So he's waving his plate around. He goes, I can't eat any of this shit, and it was just hilarious because people were like making fun of him and da da da. And he brought this story up recently on an interview. He goes, that was then. I come back now to the WWE. There's vegan, there's vegetarian, there's pescatarian, there's egg whites and protein bars and black coffee and sugar-free candies. And he goes, it's all there now. All the shit that I could have eaten by the handful before when I was trying to eat clean, it's all there now. Like, it's provided. And you don't have to go looking like a crazy wild person for the kind of foods you want to eat. So they're taking care of their bodies just way different now than they used to. So now,
yeah.
Now what happens is that you have the availability to last as long as you keep doing all the right things, pretty much as long as you want to last in this industry. Injuries.
It's amazing how that works, huh?
Yeah, injuries provided, because in the case of a freak injury, you blow a knee out. Big E, unfortunately, had a broken neck. So, like, there are some instances where it's just you don't want to risk it. So, when it comes to these releases, and I think this is where the arguments really have some merit, because what it ends up coming down to is that you were probably given an opportunity and you didn't shine, or you were never really put in a position to really showcase what you can do, and they just didn't see it in you. And that's unfortunate, but it's part of the business. So I'm going to go down this list really quickly, and because I'm on Forbes magazine, by the way. They're the ones talking about it. There are other websites, but I like pulling articles from actual journalists and actual credible sites, not just the dirt sheets. Isla Dawn, former one half of the tag team champions with the Unholy Alliance, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. Not the red head, the orange head, I guess you could say.
Uh-huh.
Not a bad wrestler, but no reaction, not a care in the world. Nobody ever gave a shit. It's just, it is what it is. And they got the opportunity. They had the big push. They went to their home country in Scotland, Clash at the Castle, and won the tag titles and got the big pop. That was the one where me and you were like, they beat Jade and Bianca at Clash at the Castle for the hometown girls. And even we said that was their way out of not giving Drew the title at the pay-per-view for whatever reason. And so they got the opportunity, and it did not go anywhere. They didn't help the division at all. I'm surprised. The only surprise that I have is that they both didn't go. They still see something in Alba Fire. She's still there, but the partner is gone. She has been released. Giovanni Vinci, who was the third member. Not third. Was he third? Yeah, he was one of those members of Imperium with Gunther and with Ludwig Kaiser. Now, this guy is impressive looking and can ball. This kid can go. And he's standing next to Gunther and he's standing next to Ludwig Kaiser, and you would think this guy's, in good company. For whatever reason, the dude just didn't get an opportunity. They tried to repackage him as some sort of like rich, I don't know, snobby guy. I don't know. They had him like on a yacht, and he looked like he was wearing fine Italian clothing, and they gave him that cool name, Giovanni Vinci. You know what I'm saying? That might be.
Yeah, they were pushing his promos hard.
Yeah,
too.
and then
his comeback or whatever.
Yeah, then he came back, and he had like a match or two, and then he got injured. And they were like, okay, never mind.
Like,
and,
yeah, we're not doing that.
yeah, we were barely kind of. I'm gonna be honest with you, we were kind of not that into it. But since it really fell on its ass, fuck it, we'll do something else.
Can't say we didn't try.
Yep, Gallows and Anderson, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, the Good Brothers, are finally out. I get it. They didn't do a whole lot, but to be fair, you know I don't have a lot of sympathy for this one. I'm just going to be honest. They had an opportunity to do some things outside of the WWE. They signed 5-year deals with WWE, and then they were fucked out of that deal, I think about a year or so in. And they made a big fuss about it, rightfully so. I think we might have talked about it on the show here, how they got fucked on their money, and it was kind of an unfair deal. When they went back to WWE, I figured it was them trying to make good on the deal, so I understood that. But it looks like they never forgot about these guys going on the road and talking all kinds of shit. And you say, yeah, we'll pay you, but, we have no interest in using you. They paid him. They paid him for the duration of their whole shit, practically. And they just didn't do a fucking thing with him. And now their stock is about as low as it possibly can be. I mean, I guess you could technically send them back to New Japan and see what we can do with that. But, I mean, not a big shock, to be honest with you. This was kind of shocking. Sonya Deville. I was a little shocked by that one. A little shocked, because they're doing the whole Pure Fusion Collective deal, which is a shitty name.
Not anymore, they're not.
Yeah, not anymore. Zoe's still there and
buddy.
Shayna, but Sonya Deville is out. I feel bad.
They deliberately said they disbanded that.
Yeah, when you take the leader out of the group and send them to the unemployment line, that's the end of that group. Cedric Alexander. I threw an R in there. Cedric Alexander. Getting mixed signals with that one, because I know a lot of people are just assuming that he'll just join his Hurt Business brethren in AEW, but AEW was the company that fucked his wife over, Big Swole. So I don't know if they're gonna be too happy getting that Tony Khan money. I don't know if that's gonna work out the way that people think, but it is what it is. He's a super athlete. He'll land on his feet regardless of where he goes. I'd love to see him in New Japan or something like that, or a TNA where he can really show his talents. I don't think he needs to be with MVP in the Hurt Business. I think he's good enough to be all on his own, but we'll see. And they're making space because Cedric's one of those people where he's not bad, but he's not great. So it's like, all right, we'll I think he's on that very short list of guys where you remember like when they released Drew McIntyre and you're like, dude, that's weird. Why would they let him go? But they never really took their eye off of him. They just went, okay, here, do something, impress us. And he went out and impressed. I think this is one of those situations. I think Cedric needs to go out there, impress, go
work.
Yeah, put in that work, get something over, get a gimmick, get something going, and then we'll call you and see what's up. Akam and
I wonder sometimes if it's one of those things where it's like, look, we're going to let you go. But it's not that we don't like you, and it's not that you're bad. It's none of that. It's, to be honest with you, I don't have a spot for you now. Like, we want to use you, but I don't have anything that makes sense. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to let you go from your contract so you can go work.
Well, he still has the 90-day clause, so he's got to take a 3-month vacation.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you go work, see what you can do, see if you can move the needle on your own.
Yeah.
And maybe we can revisit this. Like, you're just not up enough to fit you where we would like to put you. Go do it on your own. Do you see wrestlers getting offended by that? I could see being a little butthurt about it, but like,
it depends on the ego. I've seen
you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I've seen some wrestlers be told that they're like, you know what, you're right. Yeah, let me get a shot. Let me see if I could do something out here, and they'll hear that and they'll go, you know what, I'm gonna make you hire me back. Watch, I'm gonna put you in a position where you're gonna be offering me the contract. I'm not even gonna call you. But then there's others that'll go the other way, and they're like, how the fuck could you release me? I just did this, and I just did that, and, I got a mortgage coming in, and I can't afford to go back to the Indies. This is crazy, and blah, blah, blah. But it depends on the person. I think, personally, that Cedric Alexander is one of those dudes, though. Like, he's going to look at that and go, okay, cool. Now watch. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to kill it, and I'm going to make you bring me back. Watch. And we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Akam and Razor, AOP, Authors of Pain. I never liked them. I don't really think they were ever really that good. To be honest with you, they're big boys for sure, but they don't look. They didn't do anything impressive at all. And they don't talk. They barely work. They released them once before, and I never understood why they brought them back, especially with a manager like Paul Ellering, where Paul Ellering doesn't even cut any fucking promos. They just did shit. Yeah. It's whatever. Duke Hudson was kind of a surprise. Big boy, almost 7 feet. Kind of started showing some personality in NXT with Chase U. And I don't know. There's got to be, I feel like he's the kind of person that might have talked himself out of a job. I don't know him personally. I don't know any situation. But cosmetically, he looks like the type of guy they would use. Even if they had nothing for him, he looks like the kind of guy they would find something for. Let him be the bodyguard gimmick. Like something. But they went and released him. I think it might be the same thing here. Hey, go out there and you can now say former WWE superstar. You can now say former NXT superstar. Go out there on the indies and see if you can make a splash, I guess. At that size, he's going to do some cool shit. It's just a matter of where. He's got, not for nothing, and I'm not trying to manifest this, he's got MLW written all over him. And with Jacob Fatu in that locker room, man, he's probably giving Court Bauer a bunch of heads up. Yo, these motherfuckers is about to be free. We need to grab them. Because Matt Riddle is down there killing it right now. Matt Riddle right now is in MLW fucking killing it. He's cutting crazy promos. He's in a feud with Eric Bischoff right now in MLW. So he's doing some pretty cool shit. Blair Davenport, the former B. Priestley, is now free and ready to go. I'm not even going to blink, and I'm pretty sure when her 90 days are up, she will be in AEW, no doubt about it. Her husband's in AEW, so there's no doubt in my mind that that's where she's going to wind up. So, she has a safety net. She's going to be all right. That's Mrs. Ospreay. She's going to be okay. She's going to the other brand. So I'm going to safely assume that because they were pushing her, not just in the NXT, but even when she came to Raw. So this release is kind of sudden because it looked like they were trying to do some shit with her, and then it just stopped. So I don't know if it was them not wanting her not wanting to be there. I don't know what that case is. She hasn't gone public yet. She probably can't go public. But that's the list so far for WWE. We are now in a world where it can happen at any moment. So keep your head on a swivel. And according to 411mania.com, I have some more information here concerning what's going down on the other channel. Across the street, the company that swore to God they would never release people from their contract because like Vince McMahon would, because they're not heartless, soulless individuals. They released 3 individuals that have been kicking and screaming, trying to run as far as fucking away from this company as they possibly can. 3 people that were told publicly, we will not let you go because we know where you're headed and we don't want you going over there, so fuck you. But they've got no choice. They've got no choice because that's what they've been left with. Of course, the 3 names that AEW has officially removed from their roster page and, being reported here by 411 Mania. As being, sorry guys, it's been a long day. As being released from their contracts, Malachi Black from the House of Black.
That's big.
Miro and Ricky Starks. Now, Malachi Black, of the 3, if I'm WWE, that's the one I want. Give me Aleister Black back. Vince fucked that up. Give it to me. I will fix that. I can make that shit work. Now, he said the same thing about Shinsuke. That has gone nowhere, so I don't know. But as a fan, I want Aleister Black back. I'm not so sure I need Rusev to come back. Although I have heard that, sometime this weekend after Valentine's Day, traditionally is Rusev Day. Traditionally. It's usually the day after or the day before, traditionally. So that would be good timing. But I don't think I need Rusev back. Y'all can do what you're gonna do there, especially Sans Lana.
That's Miro, right?
Miro is Rusev, yes. And Ricky Starks.
No, put it in the trash.
I gotta be honest. I don't get it. I don't see it. I don't understand it.
I never understood why he was getting pushed as hard.
I don't get it. You know what someone told me the other day? Someone when talking about the people who were trying to get out, and there were other names besides these three that people you hear all the time. Ray Phoenix, right? He's in the middle of trying to get the fuck out of there. He's trying to get on Raw with his brother. His brother's caking up right now. He's like, I'm trying to get over there. You think Pence is nice? Wait till you see the both of us together. Oh my God.
He's not even willing to die.
Yeah, no.
Pence, I'm willing to die.
Yeah, I'm willing to die for my shit, son. And he's trying to get out of there. Man. So there was a buddy of mine who was talking about the people who are trying to get out of there, and he told me with I swear to God, he had a straight face. He meant this from every part of his being. He said, I can't believe his whole chest. He might have borrowed other chests to make it chestier. To say, yeah. He said, I can't believe AEW is sitting on a generational talent like Ricky Starks. And I almost choked on absolutely nothing. I wasn't drinking. I didn't take a breath. My throat closed up. I said, what the fuck did you just say? You're not even saying that he's good. You're saying generational talent? He's a generational talent. Sammartino, Hogan, Hart, Taker, Austin, Ricky Starks. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Ricky, that's fucking wild. Don't ever say those names.
What a fucking hot take. I was like, Jesus Christ. What was
Hold on. Let the man defend himself. Did he say why?
Oh. The reason I said no, first of all, he said generational talent like Ricky Starks. And like I said, my throat closed up. And I said, what the fuck did you just say? He said, you don't think Ricky Starks is good? I said, I didn't say he wasn't good. You said generational talent. I said, what the fuck does he do that is generational talent? Oh, he's a great promo guy. I said, fuck you and your children. I don't give a fuck about anything you will ever have to say again. He cuts a great promo. Yeah, I hope your family tree all gets tree rot or something. Like the whole tree comes traveling down. Did you just say he cuts a great promo? So he's a generational you need to get the fuck out of my face. I'm not even saying he's terrible. But people are glazing this motherfucker like he is the LeBron James of fucking wrestling, and I don't get it. I have seen him perform. He's pretty okay. There is nothing about this. First of all, he is the most Dominican man I've ever seen in my entire fucking life.
He's very vanilla to me.
No,
he's very generic.
He doesn't do anything.
Character wrestler.
He doesn't do anything. He's not a terrible promo, and he's not a terrible wrestler. But oh my God, I lost it at generational talent. And then I read online he did an appearance. I believe it was House of Glory, and he also did an appearance with Game Changer. It was so hilarious. Yeah, it was with Game Changer, and he did an appearance. He might have even had a match. I don't remember, but it was in a fucking mall. And I think it was American Dream Mall, where the ice rink is supposed to be. It's in a mall, right? So there's people going up the escalator. There's people coming out of fucking Foot Locker, none the fucking wiser. They're like, oh, I just bought these new shoes, and here's this Dominican man in the middle of the fucking mall, just screaming at the top of his fucking lungs about a company nobody gives a shit about, holding him fucking back and not putting him on television. And all those people want is just to make it to the fucking food court unfucking harmed by any of the sweaty, deodorantless fans that are in this fucking mall watching this fucking event take place. It was a weird fucking setting. And he's cutting this real serious wrestling promo. And I'm just watching people just with fucking bags of popcorn and just fucking just shopping at a mall. I'm trying to get the sales, and these other assholes are talking to me about some shit some guy named Tony Khan's bitching about. I don't know what's happening. Then I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. If he, I wouldn't even be surprised if WWE picked him up. But, because he's like good friends with Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes has all the fucking stroke in the world right now. Ricky's already been to WWE events.
Send him to NXT. I don't got no problem with that.
Yeah, I co-sign him.
I got no issue with that.
Yeah, send him to NXT. Let him sink or swim with Trick Williams, and we'll see.
Yeah, show me this generational talent.
Yeah, please. Please show it to me. Please show it to me. I'm so confused. I don't understand it.
I'm so confused.
I'm so confused. I'm confused. Oh, man. So those are your releases, both WWE and AEW.